Alright, what's going on guys? It's Stolen here and I am back with another tutorial. So today's tutorial is going to be on Cinema 4D. You guys have asked me to do this in the comments. I've seen a few of you guys and I just decided I might as well do it. So this tutorial is going to be like the basics on Cinema 4D and what I like to do with Cinema 4D and stuff like that. So I'm just going to teach you how to make a simple text render. I'm not going to be teaching you anything like materials or stuff like that because me myself, I'm not good at materials. I'm just a beginner at Cinema 4D. All I really know how to do is make simple little text renders and stuff like that can come out really good depending on how you use in Photoshop. So first thing I'm going to teach you is some render settings that I like to use. So if you press, if you go up to here, you see these three things. This is the render. So when you're done with everything, you press this and it will render everything out and save it wherever you put it. This is a render preview. So if you click this, it's going to preview before you actually will go and actually full on render it. But right here is the render settings, which you click on and you adjust everything to make it look good. So this is where you'd also save it as well. So I'm going to start off with output and I'm going to change it, make sure this is pixels. I'm going to change it width, I'm going to change to 1280 and height to 720. And then resolution can stay at 72. Now I'm going to go to save and I'm going to name this tutorial and I'm going to click alpha channel. And I'm going to change this TIF PSD layers to a PNG. Click this, click these three dots, and then have it saved somewhere. And I have a renders folder for that. Now, once you do that, go over to anti-aliasing, and this is only for people that have a decent computer that know they can run this. Me, I don't have the best computer, but I have a decent computer. So like say if your computer is sort of like mine, it's decent but it's not too good, put best, change it from geometry to best and change it to min level 1x1 and max level 2x2. If you have a really good computer and you know can handle it, go to 2x2 and 4x4. But I'm going to stay with 1x1 and 2x2. And if you know that your computer's not the best, like say you have a laptop, I recommend using geometry. Now after that, go to down here where effect is and click on ambient occlusion. Now here you don't have to do anything with it, so just go back to effect and now go down to global illumination. And now change this medium samples, and this is R16, so you might not have the same setup, but if you see samples anywhere, like if you go to Radiance cache files or anything like that and you see something that says samples, just change it from medium to low and change the record density from medium to low as well. And then go back to effect. And there's a few effects here that you can use, like depth of field. I'm not too familiar with anything that you have to change in that. I never really had to change anything in that, so yeah. And then go to sharpen filter and change this from 100 to 25%. And then that's your render settings right there. I don't know if you can save this. I've never really saved it. No, I'm not too sure if I can save this now. But once you're done with that, you just X out of it, and now you have this view, like preview or perspective area. So this is your workspace, and then this is where your layers will be, and down here is where your materials will be. And now, speaking of materials, if you want a material, just double click here and it will create a brand new material. I'm not going to teach you how to make anything else other than just a white texture. So just take all these and go like that, or you can just click on this and just drag it all the way to the top corner. And now, by default, you'll either have specular or reflection checked. Just uncheck that. And for a white texture, this is what I'm going to be using for the white, because this is not going to go into the text. Sorry about my throat. This is not going to go into the text or anything like that. This is going to be going onto our lights inside that's going to be going onto a homemade type of softbox replication sort of thing. Because if I was to add a text, if I go into MoGraph up top here and go down to MoText and click on it, just wait for it to load. Text will appear and stuff like that. And if I press render preview, nothing's there because there's no light source, so nothing can be seen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see this light bulb, click on it, and go down to area light. And I'm going to move this to the side. And right now I want to rotate my camera by using this right here, but I'm not going to do that yet because I'm going to go to camera, click camera, and then see if I go like this, then this is what the camera will see. If I click out of this box right here and move, the camera will not move with me. So then I can get an angle and everything like that, and click on the light, press this rotation tool. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and then I'm going to adjust my camera inside that, bring this forward a little bit, move it back, move it up. See these yellow dots or orange dots? You're just going to resize it like that. I'm going to take the rotation tool, I'm just going to rotate it like that. So then it sort of gives it a light type of effect, but it's not too, it's a little bit dull, so I'm going to just adjust it so that it's more like that. And now bring this layer down here, and I'm going to, no, not in there, I'm going to go to the square, I'm going to go down to plane, I'm going to take this plane and move it over here, bring it like that. I'm going to rotate this plane, hold shift, after you've clicked on it and brought it down a little bit, just hold shift and bring it down to get this perfect angle. And now I'm just going to rotate it to the side a little bit, use these yellow or orange things, whatever they are, and just size it up to the same as this light. And now what you're going to do is you're going to just get the camera angle like this, and just I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now what you got to do is you got to try and line this plane up a little bit better with the light, and so like that. Go on the plane, go like that. And now what it does is it bounces the light off of this and brings it back to here. And this material down here, if you drag it onto the plane, it's just going to make the plane brighter, better for reflections and stuff like that. And it's just going to overall help. And now what you can do is just drag this plane down here with the light, click Control, go on the light. Sorry, I have a really dry throat right now. Hold up. Just let me take a drink. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so with these two selected, just press Alt and G to group it, double click, and put Softbox. And now Control C and Control V that softbox. Bring the softbox just above the other one. And now with the rotator tool, just rotate it something like that. And then move it so that it's on this side of the text. And now it's a bit bright on the text itself, but if I go back into the camera, it might be a little bit better. But what I'm gonna do, sorry, my throat is like messing up right now. So I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna just adjust it so that it's pretty good. And now I'm going to back it up a little bit, about here, bring it up, and just make it so that it's, if I go back into the camera, that's pretty good. Now the text is a little thin, So see on if I click on the text and I go to depth and I change it from 20 to like 100, it gives it this really 3D type of effect. But you know, text is a bit too bright right now, so I'm gonna bring it out here, and I'm gonna go into the softbox, both of them, and I'm gonna control click on both the lights but not the planes, and I'm gonna change the intensity down to a 70 or something like that. I'm gonna change the shadow to a soft shadow or shadow maps, and I'm gonna close both of these, and if I press the render preview, this is what happens. You can see this, but you also see the text. And now I don't want to see this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click green on the lights and the planes. Oh, whoops. I don't want to do that. I want to click it green on everything. And now sometimes this will work, sometimes it won't. If it doesn't work like it did here, what you should do is click on the lower dot. See the lower dot? See how they're both red? Don't do it on the light, but do it on the plane. So on the plane, just click the dot that's red, and now on the light you don't have to really do anything. So you can just remove both the dots off the light and make sure the plane looks like this. Green at the top, red at the bottom. And now it should fix the little problem here, like it did. And now your text, it looks a little weird. It's like got this weird type of effect going here where there's shadows like that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna double click, and like I said, all I'm gonna do is a white texture again. So I'm gonna click off a reflection and then keep the color 100% in white. Go back to luminance, but I'm gonna lower the luminance to like 16, and then see on this preview right here, right click that preview and go down until you find object soft shadow. And once you find object soft shadow, just click on that and then adjust your colors. Now I think this isn't enough white. It's not white enough, so I'm gonna change this, and I think this is good. So now I'm gonna take it and I'm going to place it onto my mode text. And now if I render it out, it's still a little messed up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cubic seamless, and I'm gonna go onto the mode text and I'm gonna change the caps. If you go from object and you go to caps, change it fill cap, steps 1, radius, I'm gonna go 1, and I'm gonna go 1 on the end as well. And it should fix it. It all depends on your lights as well, because I'm making this homemade Lightroom and stuff like that, and I normally use Wolf's Lightroom. It's a little bit better, a lot better, but anyways, it's just like a little quick tutorial. If you can't like find any Lightrooms that you can afford or anything like that, what I'm doing right here is just getting a regular light by just clicking on this instead of holding click. And then I'm just putting them all over the place. And now it makes it like really bright. And that's not what I want. I just wanted to put extra lights inside that just so that it can give that those shadows like, yeah, I'm bad at explaining why. But just trust me on it. It can help it look better. Try soft shadow if you don't. If you render it out and you don't like how it looks, like it's not bad. But if it doesn't look the best, just go back and just change it to none, and it should there should be a better effect on it. Like yeah, it looks a bit better, I think. Yeah. Doesn't really change it too much, but you know, you get the point. It's for lights. It's alright, I guess. Now I'm gonna click on the top light and go down to the softbox, holding shift, and I'm gonna go Alt G, double click, and I'm gonna name this lights. Now this is how you light your stuff. So if you don't have lights, then you're not gonna be able to see your project. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my MoText and I'm gonna change it from text to tutorial. You can hear my neighbors outside. So I got my text and I'm gonna change the font to a nice font I like. I'm gonna change it to Arial Black. That's a pretty good font. And now it's a bit big, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this tool. I'm just gonna click and drag it. So then it resizes it, just like that, so that it fits. And I'm not really liking the font because it's a bit much. But there's another good font that I have. Hold on one second. I'm going to fix that. It will be right back. I am back, you guys. I'm sorry about that. My neighbors were trying to find a dog. You might still be able to hear them a tad bit in the background, but it's dulled down a little bit now. So we should be good. Back to the tutorial. Alright, so you got this text tutorial. And now if you RAM preview, not RAM preview, sorry, that's After Effects. I meant to say render preview. It looks like this. And now it looks pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the depth a little bit because it still doesn't look that 3D. Like it looks 3D, but it doesn't look cool enough. Yeah. Oh no. I'm saying weird things. I'm a weird person. Don't make fun of me. So you have this. And now what I like to do when I have stuff like this, and I'm not going to grunge texture it or anything like that, because like some people will take a texture and they will make it grungy, but I'm not going to do that for this tutorial because I want to make it just a subtle white render, just a little simple render and so like that. And I can I'll bring it into Photoshop and tell you guys what I do with it, and that's going to be a little bonus. I'm going to add a bonus on. But yeah, so with this, what I'll do is I'll Control C, Control V, and I'll have this duplicate. And now on the duplicate, I'll change the depth to 0. And now if I hold Alt and double click on these two dots on the 3D version, see you'll have this 2D version of it, and you'll find out why I did that in Photoshop. So now you're done with making the render and everything like that. Now it looks pretty good. So what you're gonna do is you're going to go to save and you're gonna name it like I did. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold Alt and double click on this. You don't have to double click. You can just like click for the green and click once for the red. But if you double click like this, it just makes it faster. So have this off by making it red, and now just press this render button and this will come up. Now what it's doing is it's rendering out your text so that it can go, it's going to be going into your folder like that as a PNG. And now just as soon as it looks like this, there's nothing at the bottom loading or anything like that, just exit out of it. And then what you're gonna do is going to render settings, change the name to like tutorial 1. Say if you're doing the same thing with the 2D thing, just change it to tutorial 1, X out of that, and now hold Alt, double click, click once on that, and double click on 3D. And now you'll have this 2D. Just press the render, and it will render out as a 2D image. And now it's still not done. As soon as it's done like this, I'm going to exit out of this. Now I'm going to exit out of Photoshop. I'm going to exit out of Cinema 4D, and I'm going to press no because I don't really need to, because I have a Lightroom saved. But if you guys want to, you guys can save that. I'm going to see what. Alright, this is a little bit of a long tutorial, but What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Photoshop, and I'm going to teach you guys what I do with both of them. So I'm not going to like show you under a CC or anything like that. I'm just going to show you like how I use it and stuff like that, and why I make 2 copies. So I'm just going to let Photoshop open. Now I'm going to go into File, Open. I'm going to go to my desktop where I have it saved in my renders folder. If I can find it. Here's my renders folder. Okay, so I have it saved in my renders folder. Tutorial and tutorial 1. So I'm gonna hold control and click on both of them, and then I'm gonna press open. And then make sure that you're on the move tool and just drag this 2D version into the 3D thing. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try and line it up, and now on the 3D one, I'm gonna double click it, and I'm gonna do color overlay. And I'm gonna change it to normal and everything like that, and I'm gonna have this color on black. And now on the 2D version, I'm just gonna try and line it up so that it's sort of similar to what it should look like. Now you're gonna have like a little outline on it. That's fine. It doesn't look too bad. Now you can also double click on the 2D version and put a color overlay and put it to white and stuff like that. Or you can put a gradient overlay. Anything you want. It just makes it so that you can edit the 2D part of it, like the face of it, without affecting the 3D part. Like, also, if you want to, on the 3D part, do a inner glow, put it on screen. Just gonna put the opacity up so you guys can see a bit better, and like see how like there's an inner glow on it and not affecting the 2D. That's what you can do. So that's all for the tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you do, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's been your boy Stolen, and I'm out.